Time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine. Yeah. All right. You know what time it is? It's time for the Shoe Shine. I'm your boy, Dave from the 408, coming to you all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas. Joining me as always, all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia's very own Philly Irish Drew Evo. I'm feeling it, man. How you doing, homie?
I'm all right. How you, Dave?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. And Philadelphia was front and center on Showtime Sports this Saturday. Congratulations to Stephen Fulton on another impressive victory, man. And you know, actually I had Danny Roman winning this fight, but you know what? It's that same shit that I go through every time, Drew, where I let my feelings and emotions get the better half of me, knowing Stephen Fulton is a special fighter, man, a very special fighter. And we're going to talk about those two incredibly gifted American special athletes that won their title defenses this weekend. And one of them went on to become undisputed. We're going to get to all that hot stuff, Drew. But yeah, today's June. It's like the first show of the Shoe Shine in June. So appreciate everybody that's watching in, tuning in. Everyone who's just joining us, I appreciate it. I see Nando's coming in the room, JC. Everyone who comes in, don't forget to share it if you like on your Facebook or your Twitter or whatever, man, because Drew and I can use the views. Speaking of which, Drew, last week, we got a noticeable bump in viewership, and I appreciate that. The subscribers are starting to roll in, and we could definitely use more of those. So don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe, because you know it helps with the algorithm, Drew. All right, man, let's get to talking to some boxing mess, Drew. Where should we start? We should probably start with DAZN, because DAZN hit it out the park with that main event for a IBF 130-pound title this Saturday in the afternoon, Drew. Kenichi Ogawa, to defend his belt, goes over to Wales, only to get knocked the hell out in round two, and could be one of the knockouts of the year. Drew, did you see this one coming? I mean, people weren't really talking about this fight, including you and I.
No, I didn't see it coming.
Ogawa's most notable performances was against Tevin Farmer. You know, I was trying to rethink, where have I seen this guy fight? But he has an IBF title. The man at 130 pounds now, slowly cleaning out the division, is Shakur Stevenson, man. And he had a lot of choice words to say immediately after that, Drew, because he says, look, told y'all the best fighter at 130 pounds from England. I would love to come to England for some whatever. At Joe Cordina 91, man. He is ready to go over there, or have him come over here. First of all, Joe Cordina, congratulations to him from Wales being the newest 130-pound champion. Does he stand a chance with a heavy hand like that? Does he stand a chance against Shakur Stevenson?
Yeah, stands a little bit of a chance. He's got to land it, though.
He's got to land that big right hand. Why didn't the Japanese guy Ogawa see that punch coming, man? It was a beautiful one, too. Lights out. Potential KO of the year.
It was just something you probably didn't see coming, and the ones that you don't see coming are the ones that hurt you the most.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So DAZN hit it out of the park with that main event, because we should just get out and right out and say it, Drew. This weekend, I thought we had some potential fight of the year's matchups. between the main events Undisputed on ESPN for free. Devin Haney going all the way to Australia, the land down under. A snooze fest for many. For a lot of people that like exciting matchups, that one was being heralded as a complete snooze fest. Lots and lots of people calling to say it was one of the most boring things they'd ever seen in an undisputed fight. But not only that, Drew, I got to say, I was looking forward to Danny Roman being able to mix it up with Stephen Fulton at 122 pounds. I honestly thought that Danny Roman was going to be competitive. And Drew, he got shut out. Yes, I got to eat my words, man. Congratulations to, like I said, Philadelphia, Stephen Fulton. The guy's a special athlete. We got shut out on both ends, man. We had 2 complete shutouts by elite level boxers. Guys, let me know in the chat as people are coming in right now. Were you bored of the main events on Saturday night? Or should we be in awe that potentially, I'll put it up here, man. Are we potentially witnessing the next Floyd Mayweather in Devin Haney? There's a lot of comparisons are being made already immediately. Is Devin Haney the next Floyd Mayweather? Is Shakur Stevenson, who I just mentioned, the next Floyd Mayweather? Which one of these two is going to carry that name? Listen, Devin Haney won Saturday night's fight, and a lot of people are going to say this. A lot of people probably said it. He won this fight with his jab and his jab alone, man. Look at this guy. It's a brilliant jab. Now, I know that Drew feels very strongly about the fact that defensively, Haney's tactics is to clinch when anybody can close the distance. But he did it. He did it within the rules of the referee. The referee didn't seem to mind. So you're going to get away with what you can. It wasn't particularly a dirty performance by either guy, which made it, it didn't make it exciting, because generally you want to see the guy who's got undisputed. He's got 4 belts. You want to see him defend that and get some of that fire inside. And we didn't see any fire from Kambosos, who's fighting at home. In fact, I didn't even hear the Australian crowd. Did you hear the crowd? That shit was quiet as hell. Man, it was a quiet fight. El Chilo Boxing Saludos, he says it was a good fight, but no next Floyd. Not yet, at least, right? Not yet. Maybe too premature for me to be calling one of these guys the next Floyd Mayweather. Drew, why is Haney being compared to Floyd so much? The guy essentially just went to go ahead and prove to everybody that you could have the best jab, one of the best jabs currently in boxing, and that could be enough to neutralize and beat your opponent. Are we comparing him to Floyd Mayweather? Is that too early? Drew, your mic went off for a quick second. You might want to try.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, definitely.
Can't compare him to shit.
Oh.
Tell you, no, I'm really am sick of this, because here's the thing. Everybody say he had a masterclass performance. Masterclass is offense and defense put together. Offense was okay. Defense, where the fuck was the defense at? Every time I'm calling him Cam Booty, because that's what his name is. He didn't show the fuck up.
Cam Booty.
Cam Booty tried to get inside. Every time he did it, Haney fucking held him. And he wasn't warned about it. But as you were telling me, Dave, the referee warned Kambosos about holding, but did not warn Haney about holding.
I think you're gonna do whatever you can to get away with it, if you can get away with it. And the Panamanian referee let a lot of things slide, right?
Yeah, it was fucking snooze fest. And the thing about it is, man, if you look at it, I watched this fight twice. I actually almost fell asleep the first time watching it. The second time, I had a lot of caffeine, which include Coca-Cola Classic, and everything, in order to fucking be able to watch this fucking snooze fest again.
You had to watch that fight twice, huh?
Because I wanted to analyze it. I
Right.
wanted to be a content creator, a true content creator, and do something for his fans. And everything. I did something for you guys. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I see flaws in this dude still. Him grabbing on the Kambosos every time he went inside just shows he has no inside game. He does not like fighting on the inside. And 2, Haney, when throwing the jab, the way he throws it, if a better fighter fought him, they will counter him and get a good shot off, because when he throws the jab, his hand is down. The hand that he's not throwing with is down, leaves him open to a good punch, to a good counter shot. And Kambosos, I'm sorry, man, he didn't show the fuck up. He didn't have no idea of wing IQ in his shit and everything. It just was fucking terrible. And unfortunately, we got this snooze fest. He didn't show up. One, he didn't let his hands go. Two, he just did not go along with the game plan that he was given. Took like 5 rounds for him to actually listen to his trainer to throw the left hand. So, he's been telling him 5 hours, hey, I need you to throw that left hand. And he just doesn't until round 5. And unfortunately, we dealt with the jab, 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 go inside, I'm hugging him, jab, 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 hugging him in the inside for 12 rounds. Like, it really was a snooze fest. It was probably the most boring, undisputed fight I ever watched in my life when it comes to an undisputed title fight.
Chicano Prophet says, truth, it was the most boring, undisputed fight he's ever seen. And part of the reason why it's boring, I mean, look at the statistics. What Haney's able to do to win these fights. In round 1, 12 out of 63 punches landed. 63, I mean, that's actually not too bad. But when you start doing 40 punches thrown in the second round, 22 in the third round, still winning that round. Maybe you did it. Maybe you had Kambosos winning the third round. I think I did. 47, fourth round, 40, 36 punches thrown in the sixth round. I mean, with that kind of output, you're going to bore people. But if you're winning the fights on, just winning on points, it's enough to win the rounds, right? Even in round 2, Haney only landed 4 of 21 jabs, but he's flicking that jab nonstop. Round 4, he did very well with the jab, 12 out of 34, 12 out of 37 in the 7th round. Just enough to win all these rounds. Really, almost a nearly perfect shutout. Generously, I could have given Kambosos anywhere from 2 to 4 rounds. And it seems that a pair of the judges, they had it exactly that, right? And 116, 112, 116, 112, and maybe 118 to 110 is pretty accurate as well. I could see.
I gave him 2 rounds.
You gave him 2 rounds. Exactly, man.
But here's the thing. From what I saw, I don't want to see a rematch. First of all, I don't want to see a rematch. This was erased. And this dude shouldn't exercise his rematch, because, tell you the truth, you really, this was the moment that you were supposed to show up, and you just didn't. And it was in your home country, and you didn't show up. So what makes anything different? And he claims the fight was close. No, it wasn't. You didn't really do anything, to be honest. And there was opportunities for Kambosos. When he went to hold him, you could have easily went for the fucking punch to the stomach. He's open when a guy is trying to hold you when you're on the inside. He leaves his body open to get hit. Why did you just go and hit the body?
Now, you mentioned he wants that rematch, right? You mentioned it already. He wants that rematch. Yeah. Kambosos says he wants the rematch. It's contractually obligated unless, Nando Lama says, will Top Rank buy out the rematch clause? Drew, you was telling me, and I think I saw Bob Arum allude to it, that he would like to see a fight between Haney and Lomachenko as soon as possible, right?
Yeah, and the thing about it is, I don't really, people are trying, I'm seeing posts, tweets, Facebook posts, are trying to say Haney beats Lomachenko easily. I'm like, easily? Yeah, you must be really dumb as hell. Because, tell you the truth, if you look at it like this, if the Haney-Lomachenko fight happens, I'm going to tell you how it's going to go. He ain't going to be able to hold Lomachenko, because Lomachenko, excellent footwork, excellent hand speed, southpaw, experience, and I'm going to tell you this right now. It's going to end by Lomachenko's going to stop Haney with a body shot.
With the body shot. Why do you see particular weakness to Haney's body? I didn't see anybody land anything that I seen Devin Haney get hurt yet. But I have seen Linares rock him with a shot to the top.
Thing is, if you get the Lomachenko, if you look at it, they're going to say, oh, it's a height advantage for Haney and everything. But here's the thing. Loma can get inside and work the body and be creative with his footwork and everything. Haney's never faced actually a boxer that has excellent footwork, that gifts that rival him or even better than his. He like seriously, all the guys that really Haney's fought in are guys that will brawl, that try to cut the wing off, to try to rough you up and everything. When did we see him ever fight a pure boxer? Or even close to it?
Now we got a comment. We got a comment here from Sin City Syndicate saying, boxing is suffering from the lack of talent being lost to other sports. Many of these undefeated fighters are paper champions. And I just want to remind that I myself thought Devin Haney was a paper champion. He had the WBC email paper championship belt, right? Whatever title it was, franchise or what, one of these WBC phony baloney titles. But now he's got them all. He's got them all. Drew, in the past month, we've seen clinical beatdowns almost. We like to call them clinical, like an education in the sweet science where boxers, a better boxer defeats somebody we thought would have a chance. And I just noticed that you have Dimitri Bivol behind you. Well, it looks like he's putting the moves on Canelo Alvarez there. I just realized, oh shit, that's not your usual Bernard Hopkins backdrop, Bivol. You're going to be accused of being a Canelo hater, Drew. A Canelo hater. All right, yeah, we've seen some clinical beatdowns, one-sided affairs. We haven't even talked about Stephen Fulton, man. He's done it. He did it too. But Devin Haney, that jab is going to get him how far? Guys, if you want to call in, drop in the chat. How far will Devin Haney's jab get him? He's got all the titles now, 135, Drew. So I have to beg the question. You already alluded. We know Top Rank Lomachenko was pound for pound on the list till Teofimo took that from him, fair and square. Teofimo loses that to Kambosos. Devin Haney comes along. These titles are being turned around so quickly at 135 pounds, but Devin Haney hasn't fought the likes of Tank Davis. We don't know how easy that'll be to be made, but it has to be made. I mean, Tank Davis is the big star, as they say, pay-per-view star in the 130. You got Devin Haney fighting Tank. I'm going to drop this one too. How about Ryan Garcia? Drew's like, the hell with that. I'm getting out of here. Guys, if you want to call back, call me while Drew is taking care of some personal business. Gervonta Tank Davis, we just saw him fight in pay-per-view. He's really the financial cash cow of Floyd Mayweather, and we'll see how that pans out if he's going to stick around with PBC. He's a free agent now. He can set up himself to entertain some fights with Top Rank or DAZN. But I honestly think for Gervonta Tank Davis, as much as Floyd ran away from Bob Arum in his career, that's where some big opportunities come as far as names. Of course, now Devin Haney is with Top Rank. Gervonta Tank Davis can get something set up over there. He can also set himself up to fight Lomachenko. How about Lomachenko versus Tank Davis? And the winner gets to fight Devin Haney. I mean, hey, why should Lomachenko be first in line to fight Devin Haney? He had to take a step back. He went and fought. He's fighting in the Ukraine for his country. But he's got to earn that shit too, right? You know? And another thing I'd like to see, and tell me if I'm crazy, guys. Shout out to Card Shop Reality. Thank you for stopping by, homeboy. I would really like to see Teofimo, who keeps his mouth running, eventually get this fight with Devin Haney, because Devin Haney is not going to be the undisputed champion at 135 that long. He's 20 in his early 20s, and he's absolutely outgrowing his body as quick as a 20-year-old does, some 20-year-old. He's going to be at 140 pounds, and those guys have bad blood. We saw Teofimo Lopez chase down Devin Haney at a DAZN card in Los Angeles when he should have been training for his very own undisputed defense. Remember that? Remember Teofimo was out in Los Angeles trying to capture the limelight when he should have been focused on fighting Kambosos, which is why we're even here to begin with. That reason why Devin Haney got an opportunity to fight for Undisputed is because Kambosos took that from Teofimo. So somewhere down the line, Bob Arum has to know these are some of the biggest stars at 135 pounds, 140 pounds. I would like Devin Haney to fight Teofimo Lopez. I'd like to see that eventually. But of course, while Drew's not here, I'll just bring up his name, guys. Ryan Garcia had to open his mouth. Ryan Garcia's got the biggest mouth on social media and possibly one of the biggest social media presences as an IG star, a YouTube star. He had to run his mouth, and I'm sure you guys saw this because while watching the Haney fight and calling it a snooze fest and that he needed coffee and whatnot, like many of us did, he had an opportunity to throw shots at Gervonta Tank Davis and say something about we won't stink up or make the place sleep when we finally fight or something like that. I'm just paraphrasing, but I think I got that picture up because Tank had some choice words here that made the DAZN website. Gervonta Tank Davis tells him, Ryan Garcia to Gervonta Davis, you watching this stuff? When we fight, don't let it be like this. And Gervonta Tank Davis, as you can clearly see, very short, just 4 words, shut the F up. Yep. Everybody's tired of Ryan Garcia running his mouth. Shit. All right, Nando Lama says, Haney and Shakur are more Sweet Pea Whitaker than Mayweather. Neither will ever be a huge box office draw due to the lack of KOs. And Nando, I 100% agree with you on that. I know there was some pictures of Shakur and Devin Haney in the amateur days, Drew. Just reading Nando's thing about that Haney and Shakur are more like Sweet Pea Whitaker and Mayweather. Neither will ever be huge box office draws due to the lack of KO power. They're just 5 pounds apart. And I'm talking about all these fights that I would like to see materialize with Devin Haney now that he's at Top Rank. And I know that they were boys growing up in the amateurs. But listen, business is business, Drew. If people are demanding to see Shakur Stevenson versus Haney at some point, will it be the Boar Fest we anticipate? Two slick southpaws?
Yeah, it could be boring.
It could be boring. It could be. It'll never happen?
Nah, it's not going to happen. And Tank ain't fighting none of these guys because he's going to I'm hearing he re-signed with Floyd. So I lost all respect for Tank. And why did we even talk about Tank? They don't care. He don't care about legacy. He only cares about getting paid that $1 million a fight thing, fighting a bunch of fucking nobodies. He ain't getting Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia ain't gonna fight. Like, Ryan Garcia is a fucking piece of shit joke.
Whoa!
Really, seriously.
Some heavy words.
And wants to. He has to make himself part of the conversation all the time. And when someone tries and says, "Yo, dude, shut the fuck up! You ain't fighting nobody," and when you have an opportunity to fight somebody, really, you're fighting a guy that you should have faced 2 years ago, and you dropped out because you had supposedly mental illness and everything. And then you still don't make the fight with fucking Jojo Diaz that's in your stable and everything. So, at the end of the day, man, really, there's one name that Oscar would never bring up, and it was brought up on multiple occasions, and Oscar Orion did not mention it about entertaining a fight with this person, was Lomachenko. You can easily work with Bob Arum to make this fight. And you can Ryan could possibly be the A side, but they don't want to put Ryan against Lomachenko because, tell you the truth, Lomachenko stops Ryan Garcia. I'm going to tell you that he does. Ryan Garcia, the way that he boxes, the way his defense is, Lomachenko would tear him apart. I really would think maybe Devin could win on points with Ryan, but I just don't. I really could see Ryan as possibly the worst of the 135 pounders that are mentioned.
All right.
Floyd as fuck.
Sin City's in this. Sim City Syndicate says, Crying Ryan needs to stick to losing money at poker tables and focus on fighting bums to pay off the Vegas casino markers. Hashtag big facts. By the way, I saw the picture of Ryan Garcia's facial reaction when he lost that $20,000 bet that it kind of circulated, Drew. I mean, yeah, he makes big bets, and he paid, like we mentioned it last week. I guess he paid it off. He asked Errol Spence, where do I send you the money? But this is circulating too. Hey, don't hate because I'm muy guapo. All right, don't hate because I'm muy guapo. Drew, are you hating because he's muy guapo? Are we hating for other reasons? Shit. Drew, I did read that Steven Espinoza from Showtime Sports, CEO of Showtime Boxing, he was kind of alluding to the fact that if Ryan Garcia and if his promoter Oscar De La Hoya insists that DAZN be part of the pay-per-view for a Tank Davis fight, that it's not going to happen. So there's some heavy obstacles to actually making DAZN and Showtime work together, because it doesn't seem like either of these guys want to bend. One of them is Oscar De La Hoya, a legendary Hall of Fame boxer who runs his own promotional company. The other one's Steven Espinoza, the CEO of Showbox, another Chicano. And it doesn't seem like these two would want to work together to make a pay-per-view like that happen. So, I don't know. Nando Lama says, PBC simp Steven Espinoza. You guys know he went to San Jose State University? Like, I didn't know that. I just barely found that out, man. He went to San Jose. He's a local guy. So, I mean, I kind of respect him for being a guy who went to San Jose. I know Chicano Prophet went to San Jose State. So, shout out to my boy Chicano Prophet in the room. I also know the pains of being a Mexican pretty boy, says Chicano Prophet. There are a lot of pains, man. You don't get the fights you want, supposedly, because, you're just too damn good looking, man. And that's not coming from me. That is coming from him in an interview that came out last week. You had to read into it. But these fights, to Ryan Garcia, the fights aren't materializing, Drew, because, well, shit, I'm just too pretty, man. As Chicano said, actually. He didn't say pretty. I think he said handsome. Handsome. Which reminds me of that hip-hop song. You heard that one? I'm more handsome. You heard that one, Drew? You get that all the time too, right?
I know. I'm a sexy beast at the end of the day.
I heard that, man.
I can't really help myself, I get calls all the time from females and everything. Like, females on this show, they actually they ask Dave behind the scenes, yo, what's his DM? I want to try to get his DM. And then after that, they try to go X-ray. I want to get more than that DM. I'm like, okay.
I'm praying to the YouTube gods tonight. Ladies, let the phone calls pour in. Let them just pour in.
I'll tell you this right now. If a lady calls in, I will at least think about going to Vegas.
Oh, shit.
At least think about it.
At least he'll think about it. For Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez, man. Maybe we'll see Drew there on September 16th, Mexican Independence Day. Chicano Prophet said San Jose State, baby, yeah. I was just saying Showtime Sports executive, I believe he either went there to San Jose State or Stanford. I don't know why I have him confused. But let's get to talking about Philadelphia real quick for a quick moment, because I brought it up really quickly, but we had the pleasure of being, I think Chicano Prophet was on that interview too. We all were on with Danny Roman, who is the former champion at 122, unified champion, lost his belts to that MJ guy, who doesn't have that many fights, but he's a spectacular athlete in his own. Drew, and now is even. 2 belts apiece. MJ's got the 2 belts from Roman. Roman did nothing. Had no plan B, couldn't make any adjustments. This is a slick technician who got beat by an even better technician, Drew. Roman tried to box. You're not going to beat Stephen Fulton by boxing him. Am I right?
Right.
I wasn't right earlier in my prediction, but I thought that he would pressure him. I thought he was going to bring what Figueroa brought to the table in addition to his high ring IQ in boxing, but he didn't. He just said, I'm going to try to box around Stephen Fulton. And it's clear as night and day now that you will not win that fight against Stephen Fulton. So Stephen Fulton immediately wants everybody to know, I want to fight MJ next. Give me that fight. We might have a Philadelphia unified world champion. That's a big freaking deal. I want to see that fight. But what's even crazier is that he's talking about fighting the monster who who is going to be fighting in like shit. It's 8 o'clock. In like 6 hours or something, we will see the rematch of Inoue versus Inoue Donaire Part 2 coming from Japan. I won't be up at 2:30 in the morning. I got to work tomorrow.
I'll be at
Who
work.
will be? Who will be? So you got to step off the mic real quick.
No.
Oh, no. How do you like that fight, bro? First of all, do you think he beats MJ and unifies all those titles? Because his dream is to fight the monster. He's already presuming that Inoue Donaire is going to lose tomorrow and that he wants to see the monster Inoue move up to 122 and offer him all 4 titles. I mean, that's a lot of forethought. You know, he's thinking way into the future here.
Well, he is gonna get the belts, Stephen Fulton. He is gonna beat MJ. And the other thing with Inoue, I'm calling it's gonna be an upset tomorrow. It's gonna be an upset 6 hours from now.
Really?
The Filipino Flash is gonna produce one of the biggest wins in Filipino boxing history.
That would absolutely be one of the biggest upsets in the history of boxing, because he did come dangerously close to defeating Inoue, but Inoue hits with so much intensity, man. The way he hit Inoue Donaire with that liver shot and made him fold toward the end of the fight, and at the same time, the way Inoue Donaire cracked the orbital bone, right? Didn't he crack the orbital bone of Inoue? This is a fight that is going to have a lot of blood potentially tomorrow morning. It's devastating punchers, man. Does Inoue Donaire still have one more vicious left hook to land tomorrow? Nando Lama says, wake up call, Drew. Is it really true? I saw something about that on Twitter myself. The wake up call service.
No, Nando, I do not have Apple Pay or PayPal.
But you got Cash App. You got Cash App. You wake the people up. Hey, wake your ass up and get up and watch this fight.
And tell you the truth, not a lot of people called. So if anybody wants it, they have to do a $20 Cash App.
Oh shit, the price has gone up. You know what would be cool is if you watched it with them on the phone too at the same time for $20, you know. I'll
be like this. So how you guys like this so far? And then one dude be like this. I'm tired, Drew. I'll get the fuck off my phone then and go to sleep.
Man.
I don't hear nobody say I'm tired. I'm tired. I'll be tired of shit too. I gotta get up and bust my ass tomorrow morning and fucking do my job.
Why on a Tuesday? What's up with the I don't understand what's up with the Japanese. I still don't have an answer to why it's on a Tuesday. Is there a special holiday or some shit?
I don't know. I think DBZ's Dragon Ball Z is about to go on. They need to get it on. They need to get it done over with.
Yeah, well, I have to give credit to everybody. Like fighters, like first of all, Inoue Donaire, formerly of the Bay Area, via the Philippines, San Leandro guy. Shout out to all my Dub Nation East Bay 510 fans. But him and Devin Haney, they both made homes in Las Vegas, and they both are traveling across the world, man, to get these big paydays, to get these big fights. And one thing that I've noticed about Devin Haney and Inoue Donaire, whose career is kind of wrapping up, Drew, is that Inoue Donaire never built an audience in the Bay Area to fight. And also Andre Ward. Although Andre Ward had a couple of big fights here at the Oakland Coliseum where the Dub Nation used to play, he wasn't able to draw a big crowd. You know, hence none of his major fights were ever really in the Oakland Bay Area. And Inoue Donaire didn't have any fights that I know of in the Bay Area. I've seen him fight only in Vegas. He's fought in New York, and now he's flying across the world over to Japan to get that big payday. You know, Devin Haney going to be the same guy, Drew? A guy moved from Oakland to Las Vegas. Is he going to be homeless? I mean, I don't think he draws a crowd in Las Vegas. I honestly don't think he does.
Nah, he doesn't draw a crowd anywhere. Oakland be like this. We don't claim him. And I'm about to put a poll up. How many more times a Dave's going to do this with his shirt to show the Dub Nation thing on it?
Oh, listen, I got a call here. Let's take this call real quick here.
Nando.
All right, 909, you are on the Shoe Shine.
Hi, I'm calling because I think you guys should talk more about Ryan Garcia's next fight. I think he's super gorgeous and super handsome and super courageous. You just need to, talk about him more. I just don't understand why so many people are hating on him.
Okay.
I just can't believe it.
I was praying to the YouTube guys that we would get women to call. And Drew, I think we've got our first. Our prayers have been answered. All right. First of all, what's your name? And thank you for calling the Shoe Shine. What's your name?
My name is Jessica Garcia.
Jessica, are you all?
Yes,
are you really?
The same last name.
You have the same last name. Are you?
Yes.
Would you call yourself a big fan of Ryan Garcia? Because you're asking the Shoe Shine to talk more about Ryan Garcia, and you probably overheard us. Is that why you're calling?
Yes, I am, because I did overhear you too. And I just want to bring everything back to him because, he's super hot and, he needs to seriously, I want to know what you guys think of him because so many people are talking so much crap about him. And I think that he's just amazing. Like what is wrong with him how do I say this? He's just so cute. I just can't get him off of my mind. Like, I just want to pull him into the ring and just get on top of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh. I'm so excited for his next fight coming up.
Tell us about the next fight. Now, you live in Los Angeles. Are you going to go to this fight?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I'm going to go. I just need to find the funds to get there. So if we can put up a GoFundMe, that would be great. Because I really want to go.
Jessica would like help with the GoFundMe to get tickets. Well, I heard that sometimes they put...
Yes, I have to see him. Oh my gosh, did you see his abs? Oh, so good looking. So good looking. Oh, and his boxing skills are just on point. On point.
Okay, so this weekend we had a guy by Devin. His name's Devin Haney. I was just talking about him from Oakland. He has all the belts. So how is Ryan Garcia a bigger star in your eyes than the guy who has all the belts? Why is Ryan a bigger star to you?
You have to understand he is a bigger star because look at his IG, just right there. His IG will tell you everything you need to know. Okay. He calls out all the top fighters.
That's true, Drew. He does call out all the fighters, Drew.
Oh my gosh. So are they afraid to lose to a pretty boy? Is that what it is?
That's a good question. I'll let my co-host handle this one. Are these guys afraid to lose to a pretty boy?
I'm curious.
You left him speechless.
Let me ask you this. If he beats up Javier Fortuna,
okay, yeah.
Will you guys see him fight Tank Davis? Would you?
Well, that's a damn good question. Drew, if Ryan Garcia beats up Javier Fortuna, will we pay to see him fight Gervonta Tank Davis? He's laughing. He's turning red. Jessica, let me ask you something.
Maybe he's getting a little excited over the pretty boys too.
I think he's getting hot and bothered. I need to ask you something. Jessica, do you have a Latina friend? Because you said your last name is Garcia, but to invite Drew so he can get a good look.
I have a Latina sister too. I have a Latina sister. So we need 2 tickets to that fight, by the way, not just one.
There you go, Drew. He is invited to Los Angeles.
I'm sorry?
You're inviting him to Los Angeles to see Ryan Garcia, and maybe Drew could be converted. He could be converted into a Ryan fan.
Maybe so.
There you have it.
And I'm going to be that fan that helps convert him.
Well, listen, Jessica, I really appreciate you calling and giving your perspective on why Ryan Garcia is the hottest boxer in boxing. Can you make sure to add Drew Evo so he can get a good look at you on Instagram later?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay, and you call next week.
You guys have a wonderful night. I'm sorry?
And you guys make sure you call next week because Drew wants to talk to your friend if she's available.
You mean my sister or my friend? I have both. How about both?
How about both? Both, please.
2 is always better than 1, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'll talk to you next week. Make sure you call back, okay?
All right. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for the call.
Bye-bye. Okay, bye.
Call back every week, Sinisa. Sinisa Strada? You think that was Sinisa Strada? Wouldn't it be something if Sinisa Strada Super Bad was listening to our show?
Strada, come on now.
Someone says, Barbie Bua. Is that Ronda? What? Dave, hook me up. Chicano Prophet says, hook me up.
I gotta say something. You guys are willing to give her $5. You can't give me $5 for a fucking wake-up call.
That might have been the best call we've had in a long time on the Shoe Shine. There you go.
And it had to be a Ryan Garcia fan, huh?
It had to be a Ryan Garcia fan.
You set this the fuck up, did you, Dave?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, Drew, if our views go up if we only just talked about Ryan Garcia.
Fuck Ryan Garcia. I need a fucking drink after that one.
You need a drink after that one? All right.
She better at least be hot.
She sounded nice, right, guys? Right?
Here's the thing, guys. Ryan Garcia is not hotter than me, first of all. We're going to put that out there right now. I'm the best looking podcaster on this fucking YouTube bullshit.
They're hating on Drew because he's the best looking coming out of the city of Philly. Oh, shit. Shoe Shine Boxing, a.k.a. Plenty of Fish. Good luck, Drew. All right. Barbie Boo. Yo, I'm new to your channel. Oh, hey, shout out to you, Barbie Boo. Thank you for joining the chat tonight, man. I appreciate it. And make sure you hit subscribe, man. I appreciate you for coming onto the show.
Long live boxing. Sounds can be deceiving, buddy.
Long live boxing. She sounded really hot. And we will know next Monday because I told her to check you out. And hopefully she'll slide into Drew's DMs and make this happen. Drew will work his way over to the West Coast. You want to be something? Drew goes to a Javier Fortuna versus Ryan Garcia fight with a whole group.
I'll be cheering for Fortuna. I'll be like this.
You'll be all.
I'll try to speak Fortuna's native tongue and say, knock that motherfucker out.
We got another call. Let's see this one. All right, let's get another call. All right, the five and dime. You were on the Shoe Shine.
It's Nando.
He's got his head scarred.
What's up, Drew? What's up, Dave? How you guys doing?
What's up, man? Was that a good call or what? I think Drew met a girl.
Well, I'm about to buy that girl some tickets too, man. I was thinking about going to that fight, man. Why not? Yeah, they're taking a double date, Drew. Let's do it.
There you go, a double date, man. I think that sounds like a good time. And they might even buy the tickets for you guys. You never know. You'll end up on Instagram on one of those, like, what do they call that shit? Hashtag, and then I'll hashtag the fight, and Drew and you will be up there with a bunch of ladies. That'd be something, right?
Oh, man, I need a fucking drink.
Yeah. Hey, Nando, what were your thoughts on the weekend?
Huh?
What were your thoughts on the weekend, man? And were you impressed with Haney and Fulton?
Well, it's kind of weird, man, because I have a lot of respect for what Haney did, right? Like, going to Australia and putting on a dominant performance, right? Like, I respect that. I totally respect that 100. But I don't know if I would really be a fan of his, just because when you watch his fight, there's never going to be a knockout. Like, he doesn't run in the fight. He's not like Rigondeaux, right? He's not running around the fight. He's not trying to avoid a fight. He stands there, right?
Yeah.
But there's never going to be a knockout, and you don't really see Haney ever going for the knockout, man. Like, to be honest, I thought he dominated Kambosos, but he never went for the knockout. You know, he was just happy to win on points, man. And him and Shakur are kind of in the same boat for me, man. I respect both these guys as fighters. I think they're good guys. I think they're talented. I think they might be some of the best fighters around right now, even. But as far as being a fan of them, it's kind of hard, man. It's hard. I'm not a fan of that. It's like Pernell Whitaker back in the day. I respected the hell out of Whitaker, but would I really want to pay to watch him? Not really.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I saw Shakur Stevenson shut out Oscar Valdez in Las Vegas. That was my last trip to Las Vegas. A perfect performance by Shakur Stevenson. He was criticized heavily for being boring until he fought Jamel Herring. And then we really realized just how special Shakur Stevenson is. And now he's got a win over another enormous name in Oscar Valdez. Haney's got, some of the names on his resume aren't deep, but he's taking care of business. They do find themselves in the same shoes that Floyd Mayweather did when Floyd was criticized, and you're like, he's so boring. It never ends in a knockout with a Floyd Mayweather fight. But Floyd had the charisma. He had charisma. He had that presence. He had that heel thing where you wanted to hate him. You wanted to see him get knocked out so bad. I don't think Shakur or Haney have that magic charisma. They just don't have it, right, Drew? They're not going to carry the pay-per-view moniker.
They're not. And it's like, I'm going to be honest with you. I was seeing tweets. Who wins between Floyd at 135 and Haney at 135? Why do we entertain bullshit like this? Because Floyd at 135 was a killer.
A beast.
Yeah,
Was a beast
he
as
was.
a killer.
He was.
And I tell you this right now, 135 Floyd stops Devin Haney inside 6 rounds.
So, Drew, we were talking about Floyd. Also, Nando, is Haney's ceiling at 135 pounds, or will he be able to go up to 140 and eventually even welterweight in his like maybe 30s? Is this the ceiling for him, or does he have enough power to keep some of these heavy hitters? Already, we got someone in the chat. Steven says, I would like to see Regis Prograis get a shot at Haney at 140 pounds. You think Haney will do well moving up?
Well, first of all, like Regis Prograis, that guy's just a social media warrior at this point, man. All that guy does is talk shit on fucking Twitter, man. I haven't seen that guy in a legitimate fight in forever, you know? So later for Regis Prograis, man. Josh Taylor kicked his ass legitimately, and he's been living off a semi-controversial loss for over 2 or 3 years now, man. Like, I'm tired of Regis Prograis. He ain't the boogeyman. But as far as Devin Haney moving up, dude, that lack of power, man. It's just, and to be honest, he's not quite as slick as Shakur, man. He can get hit, right? Like, what's the face? You know, lit him up last year. You know. So I think Haney, man. Like, I don't know how long he can stay. I don't know how long he can stay at lightweight, but he better stay there as long as he can, man. Because moving up to 140, and definitely not 147, man. Because those guys just have too much power, and Haney's not gonna be able to keep him off of them at 140 or 147.
There was a guy, you know, who's now transitioned successfully into commentating. Paulie Malignaggi literally won 2 world titles in 2 separate divisions, basically off his jab. That's really what all Paulie Malignaggi had. Accused his whole career of being pillow-fisted, 6 or 7 career knockouts, but still managed to do 2 titles in 2 separate weight divisions. I think Haney's even more talented than somebody like Paulie Malignaggi, way more talented. But I don't know. I don't see it either. I'm not convinced that he's going to carry anything special up to 140. In fact, Drew, I'll give you an opportunity to talk some shit, Drew, because Teofimo Lopez finally got a fight done, signed. It's delivered, bro. 140 pounds against a little-known fighter from Mexico, who I believe has never fought in the U.S. That'll be his first fight at 140 pounds, Drew. What do you guys think, man? Are they going to all chase easy fights at 140 as they move up in weight, including Haney?
You know, like, I'm going to be honest, Teofimo's taken a lot of credit for saying that he's the reason why the young generation is stepping up and everything. But be honest, do we see Teofimo winning a belt in this division if Josh Taylor isn't in it? Yes, he could win a title. But I really don't really see the noise coming from Teofimo in this division. I just don't. I just really think that he doesn't beat Regis Prograis. He doesn't beat Josh Taylor. The Jose Ramirez fight is a 50-50 fight for me, which I slightly give the edge to Jose Ramirez with experience and everything. But Zepeda, that could be another 50-50 fight.
Well, Zepeda's going to get a crack. It appears he's going to be getting a crack at the 104 at that vacated belt that Josh Taylor gave up. It's very expensive to keep paying for all these fees, and then they force you to fight somebody you don't want to fight. And it doesn't look like Josh Taylor is moving up to 147, but he definitely gave up one of those belts. And you just mentioned Zepeda is going to get a crack at it. I want to see all these guys mix it up at 140, Drew. There's some bullshit in the way, too.
Yeah, there's too much bullshit in the way to actually see a credible fight at 140 besides Zepeda and Josh Taylor. There's so much bullshit right now. And when are we going to see Teofimo in a meaningful fight again? Like, seriously, I don't see him in a meaningful fight for the foreseeable future, to be honest.
I have a question, man. I have a question for Drew and for you, Dave, especially for Drew. Why does Loma get everything forgiven, dude? Like, everything, like, he has twice where he shit the bed twice in some big fights. He's never won a truly big fight in his career. The biggest fight of his career, he crapped the bed for the first 6 rounds. And yet that gets completely swept under the rug by the media, by the Loma fanboys, like it never happened. Like, he should be pound for pound, top 5 all of a sudden again. Whereas Teofimo has one bad loss, and I agree, it's one bad loss, and his career is in question. But now everyone's throw him in the garbage bin after one loss. Why are both these guys being treated differently when Teofimo legitimately beat him?
I'm going to tell you why. If you look at it, Loma's has a way better resume than Teofimo. Loma,
no, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Come on, don't.
Look at that resume, dude. Yeah, he lost to Salido and he lost to Teofimo.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Haney has a better resume. Haney has a better resume than Loma.
Oh my God,
Nando, Stevenson has a better resume.
Disappointing me.
Yes, he does. Look,
so you
cannot disregard those 2 losses.
Isn't a top
you
fighter?
Can't disregard those 2 losses, Drew.
Here's the thing. Nicholas Rose isn't a good fighter.
Yes, he is a top fighter. He's a top fighter. Loma is.
Gary Russell Jr., where she shut out and almost stopped. Like, come on, man. Ain't he the best 2 fighters he fought?
He has 2 bad losses.
Two bad losses. The Teofimo fight was a 7-5 fight. Teofimo. And he won one of the first 7 rounds. Tell you the truth, you can even argue that was
legitimately. It wasn't even controversial, though. Teofimo won that fight convincingly. It was supposed to fight on the cards, but at no point was Loma in that fight, ever.
Loma almost stopped Teofimo, bro. Come on now.
Nando,
he had him hurt. He almost stopped him.
Nando, would you like to see Lomachenko avenge that loss to Teofimo? He will never get a shot at Salido. Salido's retired.
Teofimo don't want to fight Lomachenko. When the fans called him out for it, he still figure out reasons not to fight Lomachenko. Like, I don't want to hear about it no more. You don't want to fight Lomachenko. He knows what's going to happen.
Look, I respect Loma. I respect him. He's a real talented fighter. But the way people put him up on a pedestal, like, permanently, is ridiculous, dude. You cannot just, like, disregard his 2 losses. Now, you can't just say, it's only a second fight. Well, why do you take the fight? His corner gave him bad advice for the first 6 rounds against Teofimo. Well, that's not Teofimo's problem. That's nobody's problem. That's his own problem.
And you want to know why? And you know why people put him on the pedestal still? You want to know why? Because guys that he beat, one of them was 2 fights ago with Nakatani. Teofimo struggled with him. Lomachenko dominated and stopped Nakatani. Teofimo couldn't do that. He struggled against Nakatani and went to the decision. And then people want to say that, Teofimo gave the blueprint how to beat Lomachenko. No, Lomachenko gave the blueprint how to beat Teofimo, if you look at it. Because at the end of the day...
What blueprint? Look, Lomachenko started coming back. Watch that fight again. Lomachenko started coming on in, like, the later rounds. But there was a point in round 11. He was always scared of getting knocked out the entire fight. Loma was. Teofimo got in his head before the fight, during the fight as well. Round 11, Teofimo stopped him in his tracks, and that's when he put him back in his place, right? Like, Loma was going on up until round 11 where Teofimo rocked his ass.
Yeah, but Loma rocked him too and almost stopped him. So what's your point? He won round 11 to Loma. Teo won round 12 because he landed almost 50 punches.
Yeah, I might have to have
What's your point, bro?
Fair, clean and fair. He lost.
We got some great points on both sides.
Loma has a better resume than Devin Haney, has a better resume than Teofimo, has a better resume than
Haney's undisputed. Loma's never done that. Devin Haney's undisputed. Loma's never done that.
Come on, bro. Like, you seriously
don't think about Ryan Garcia. I didn't bring Ryan Garcia up. I didn't even mention Ryan Garcia.
I'm bringing up everybody at 135. He has a better resume than everybody at 135, bro, and you're just hating.
Well,
look at that record, dude. Look at that record. Look at the names on it. Gary Russell is his biggest victory.
Listen,
that's it.
The chat is lit up, guys.
The guy fights once a year.
I want to say that the chat is responding to both of you gentlemen. The chat is responding to both of you guys. And I do want to see a rematch on this conversation. But thankfully, we got a lot of phone calls, and there might be some more Latinas for Drew here. So, Nando.
Yeah, go ahead, Nando. Hey, Drew, wake me up tomorrow, man. Hey, Drew, wake me up tomorrow, dude. Please. Drew,
you better send me 20. For your attitude, you owe me $20 now.
Nando.
I was going to buy you a beer when we went out with those girls, dude.
Nando, I appreciate you calling in, man.
Hey, bro, you can't get me no fucking
thank you. Hey, respect, Drew, respect. All right, dude.
Hey, Nando, I appreciate you calling in tonight, man. We'll let 915 get up on here real quick. Great call by Nando. As always, the 510.
Ladies' night.
All right, 915, you're on the shoe shine.
What's going on? 408. This is 915 D-Style
D
Boxing.
Style, what's up, homie?
Just chilling.
Talk to me, man.
I'm just, I'm anticipating this Inoue versus Donaire fight, which is why I called in. I will say, though, look, and Drew could get mad if he wants, and he can make a weird face if he wants, but anyone, he's the only dude I know that's saying, Loma was at the brink of stopping Teofimo. Look, Teofimo won the fight. He won clearly, and he just needs to live with it. It's as simple as that. Okay, like point blank, period. He hurt him into the body in the 10th round. He's the one that almost stopped Loma, and Loma's the one that didn't do anything for the first 7 rounds. Okay,
he won one of 7. He won one.
Only the winners get to say that they had a blueprint. Losers don't get to say they had a blueprint. Point blank, period. Losers have never had a blueprint to win because they lost. That's all I will say.
Okay.
Inoue's going to stop Donaire in the 10th round.
D-Style, that's great. Hold on, Drew.
No, hold on.
That's great that you point that out because you're calling about the Inoue Donaire fight. And in an interview, Donaire says that he came up with the blueprint to beat Inoue. Immediately after losing the fight, he recognized what he had done wrong and that he now has the blueprint to beat him in just a few hours. Now, I'm shocked that Drew's changed his mind. I think he's changed his mind. I don't know, but he thinks Donaire's going to pull it off. As much as I'd like to believe he's got it in him.
Let me say this, Drew. Let me say this. So, Rachel Donaire, who I respect a lot, and I respect Nonito a lot. And if Nonito pulls off the upset, I'll be happy for him. I really will, because he's a great guy, and I like that couple. They're great people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But she's been doing interviews saying, his eye ain't the same. When he looks at the mirror, he thinks about my husband because he fucked up his eye, or whatever it is, right? Here's the deal. I'm predicting right now, and I'm saying this on the shoe shine right now, D-Style Boxing, who may be listening right now, they know who I am. Let me just say this right now, all right? Inoue's going to fuck up Donaire's eye in this fight. I have a feeling he's going to fuck up his eye, and karma's going to hit them the other way around. That's what I'm predicting in this fight. Now, whether he fucks up his eye or not doesn't matter. He's going to win the fight regardless. But I'm adding that little extra. I'm saying that he's going to, this time, Donaire's eye is going to get fucked up. All right? And Donaire, this time I'm not going to try to put on a great fight and give the fans a great fight. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to win. Okay, well, that's telling me you're going to try to be more cerebral. You're going to try to set up more punches. But here's the thing. The slower the pace is, the more of a chess match you make it, the more it benefits Inoue. Inoue's going to piece him apart. That's going to leave him more time to land those nice shots or those small windows. And guess what? The last time they had small windows like that, the last time they were being cerebral in the ring, Inoue caught him with a beautiful body shot. And they make this dude run around the ring, and he took a knee. No dude that takes a knee in the middle of the ring gets to say, I had the blueprint to beat this dude. Dude, you took a knee. You ran half a lap around the ring, and you took a fucking knee. This is submitting you. He made you quit for a second or two. Now, you got back up, and you finished that fight. But here's the thing, and again, I'll say this one more time, and I get that's part of the mind games, but Donaire and Rachel have been going around saying that they're questioning the heart of Inoue. Is he going to be able to really go at it with him again? Can he get a broken orbital bone again and finish the fight? He's already done it. You can't question what he's already done. This is why we can't question the ones that win. The ones that the winner goes spoiled. Only sore losers make excuses and start creating narratives that that's the way it is. Sore losers create narratives. Sore losers say things like, he had a blueprint to beat him. That's what sore losers do. Okay, winners get to brag because they actually have their arms raised. They had one more round like Inoue did, right? Donaire does not have any blueprint, and Inoue is going to stop him late in that fight, and he's going to fuck up his eye.
That's the prediction. D-Styles. we'll see tomorrow, man. I'm excited. You'll be talking about it on your show. Now, this question is for you. Does he have anything left to prove if he loses tomorrow, as you predict? Donaire, should he retire gracefully tomorrow?
Donaire has nothing to. Let me tell you something. Donaire is a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Donaire had a great career. The Filipino Flash has nothing to be ashamed of if he doesn't win. And if he does win, shit, props to him. You know what I mean? Like that would that be a feather on his cap or what? It absolutely would. Okay. But I just think, look, he's killing himself to make this weight. He is knocking out these little guys, but he's in there with a really skilled little guy who's already beat him before. Like, Donaire hit this dude with a perfect shot that broke his orbital bone. And this guy kept coming. And this guy made him take a knee. Well, what makes Donaire going to be any different this time around? You've already landed your best shots on this dude. He didn't go anywhere. What's going to be different this time? If anything, he knows more about you. You're a little older now. Donaire has 3 rounds to take him out. If not, it's going to be a long night. And I think he's going to get stopped late.
I'm with you. I'm kind of with you, man. I'm kind of nervous about that body shot. Hopefully, Donaire's not coming in a little soft in the midsection tomorrow after he rehydrates. I would love to see nothing more than Nonito Donaire win, but like you said it yourself, man, there's no shame. He's had a Hall of Fame career already. D-Style, I appreciate you calling in the show, man. And tomorrow you're going to do your show tomorrow night?
No, I'm not going out tomorrow now.
All right.
But I'll be on Thursday.
All right. Don't miss the round table and make sure you check out D-Styles. Appreciate the call, brother.
That's right. Peace.
Peace. All right. I mean, it's been a lot about It's been a fun show. Been a fun show, Drew.
Yeah, but I heard a lot about you can't give the blueprint when you're losing. You also can't make excuses when you lose, or say that you won the fight when you didn't win the fight. When it comes to Teofimo against Kambosos.
The lightweight division has had so many close calls, Drew, that I still want to see a lot of these people get it on again, man. And I know that we all feel a certain way about the Lomachenko fight and the Teofimo fight.
But here's the problem.
All of these guys are still at the peak of their game, and I wouldn't mind seeing them mix it up, man.
Here's the problem with that.
Yeah.
People have been wanting this Lomachenko-Teofimo fight for a couple of years now. Teofimo's lost fans because of not giving him a rematch. And any of these motherfuckers, they say, oh, you're just speaking nonsense and bullshit. End of the day, it was a close fight. He almost stopped Teofimo. He had him hurt, and you can say till you're blue in the fucking face, he stopped that. He was getting ready to stop Lomachenko. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be like this. Tell Senior I said hi, by the way, bro. Tell Teofimo Senior I said hi.
Let's take 503 real quick. We'll take another call. Drew said, Joe Lopez says, Drew wants to smoke.
Chicano. This is Chicano.
You think so? All right, 503.
What's happening? This is the Chicano Prophet, and I just wanted to chime in. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, nice to have you, Al Chile. It's on the air, Al Chile. Talk to us, man. Your thoughts about tomorrow or your thoughts about last weekend?
Well, overall, I just want to say this is probably one of the funnest episodes I've listened to. I don't know who this Jessica Garcia chick is, but if Drew's going to freeze up, she can always listen to Al Chile. I'll take her to the Ryan Garcia fight. No problem. You know what I mean? And I'll say this too, and Drew, I'm telling you this as a friend, man. Like, you're just gonna have to accept the fact that Teofimo beat Lomachenko, man. Like, Teofimo beat him in the 12.
I accept the fact. But the problem is, when you're talking all that shit and everything, if you beat the guy like you say you do, and your fans and even your own fans want the rematch, and then you make excuses, even when a fan comes and calls you out on it during a live podcast. And then you try to make some excuses. He lost fans over that shit. And he hasn't been relevant since that Lomachenko fight. So at the end of the day, that's your opinion that it wasn't close. But a lot of people have it close. And tell you the truth, it was a close fight. And if you don't think it was a close fight, hey, that's your opinion. But get some fucking glasses.
Al Chile is known for
Hey, you know
rescoring
what?
controversial fights. Sorry to interrupt you, Chicano, but you're known for rescoring your controversial fights. When will Al Chile rescore this fight? I mean, I know it was 7-5, but I would be entertained.
You know what? I've looked up lists and lists of controversial fights. I've never seen Teofimo versus Loma as a controversial fight. Close is close, but there's close and clear, and that was a close but clear decision for Teofimo Lopez. We all know that, And as far as like losing fans, I mean, I don't think it would be because he didn't fight Loma again. Everybody knows Teofimo is having trouble making the weight. Like, he has to move up. Like, we're never going to get that fight again, Drew. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen.
I know we're not getting that fight
again. If Loma
again.
went up and said, I'll meet you at 140, then I would maybe respect Loma. But I don't blame Loma if he wants to stay at 135. Like, it is what it is. It was a clear decision for Teofimo. You're just going to have to accept it sooner or later, brother.
Okay, listen, but we find ourselves in a conundrum talking about the present day era. Today, 135 pounds, Teofimo had all these belts, okay? That never materialized a rematch. That could have been a competitive rematch between Lomachenko and Teo. And now we're all forced to see Kambosos get a second shot when he was one-sidedly beat down on Saturday night. Why should we stick around and watch that rematch because Kambosos wants it? Should he take the step-aside money?
I agree with you guys. Like, there's no point in really seeing this rematch. I mean, Drew made good points earlier. I don't think that there's anything that Kambosos can do the second time around that he didn't have the opportunity to do in the first fight. There were adjustments to be made. He was told to make adjustments. He wouldn't make them. It was really a sad showing for Undisputed, I'll be honest. I was really disappointed. But I do think that rematch clauses in general should be respected. I do think that it does tie up good fights from being made, but I really don't like it when the person who wins starts talking like, well, hey, I call the shots now. Like, let's see what's going on. I mean, I think that sets a really bad precedent. So I have mixed feelings on rematch clauses in general. I hope Kambosos looks at that film. You can tell he's already a little bit delusional because he's acting like that fight was close. But, he has trouble accepting the loss. We've seen that happen with people. It happens. So I have mixed feelings altogether on that.
All right. Well, how about this rematch? Kambosos coming back to New York City and giving Teofimo a fight at 140. Would you be okay with that?
Oh, I'd be totally okay with that. And I agree with D-Style, as he said. And actually, Chile was in early on this saying this, like, me and Rem PMC was in the chat earlier. We always said that, like, we did not think that was the same Teofimo Lopez that we're used to seeing in general against Kambosos. I mean, the guy was wheezing before the fight. He looked drained. So when he says, hey, I had this shit going on, I believe it. And, at the time, people didn't want to hear it. They were like, oh, don't give excuses. These are excuses. It's like, well, there's a difference between excuses and factors. And I'm okay with accepting that Teofimo lost. Like, I don't care that much, although I was proud to see him beat Lomachenko. But I just think that, to me, that was not the same Teofimo I'm used to seeing. But then you also hear people like Drew, maybe, who also say, yeah, well, Teofimo didn't necessarily beat the same Loma. So fighters are never 100%. So it's kind of a complicated issue.
And we don't know if Kambosos really did get an easy shot against Teofimo at this point, right? Now I have to go back and wonder, was Teofimo really having those esophagus issues? What impact did that have? That really is a scary condition what Teofimo had in that fight, supposedly, Drew, the esophagal tears. I know because my dog has those issues.
There was rumors saying that Teofimo Sr. was drunk. Like, what the fuck? I hope he wasn't drunk in that corner. I'm like, what the fuck? I even feel worse for Teofimo.
Before the fight and everything. Hey, guys, I'll listen to the rest of the show. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling, and make sure you check out Al Chile this week.
But I don't know. I'll be honest right there for a minute. Like, if you look at it, I just don't see like a lot of shit changing when it comes to Teofimo, because we said it when he lost to Kambosos that he maybe should have a no trainer and everything. Didn't we say that he should have a new trainer?
That was the conversation immediately after that. Real quick, Drew. Arnold Barboza, Southern California Chicano fighter that fights. He's got the world famous Rick Mariagan from Fresno, California as his trainer. He's been saying, calling bullshit on that. Teofimo wanted to fight him as his first real test at 140 pounds. Smells like bullshit. He didn't get that fight. But also, Jose Ramirez was supposedly offered money to fight Conor Benn. And his manager, also Rick Mariagan, said that ain't enough money. You're making the guy move up to 147. Jose Ramirez is a former champion. I think he had his best interest. And again, with some Cambosos news, Puerto Rican Day Parade, Drew, is coming up. You know, Puerto Rican Day Parade. Maybe they celebrate that in Philadelphia. But
Yes, we do. Gotta go my Boricuas.
Xander Zayas was supposed to fight with Berlanga, not against Berlanga, but on that card. And Xander came down with some kind of real serious illness being in Cambosos training camp. So yeah, he was down there with Cambosos and Centeno, that's his trainer. He got sick and he's not on the card, man. So hopefully he recovers. Also, there was an African fighter that got knocked out so bad this weekend, he got up and started fighting the air. Like literally he was throwing punches at the air. So that guy was hospitalized.
As the Beanie Siegel song will be, like, I can feel it in the air.
Nando Lamas says Barboza or Ramirez are fantastic fights for Teofimo. I agree, but Teofimo wants a tune-up. Whatever. He needs to get adjusted to the weight. Whatever. Yeah, those are great fights. Definitely great fights to make there. Did we forget to mention Jaime Munguia is fighting?
Fuck him.
Jaime Munguia is fighting? Say what?
And you know what? The Jamal Charlo fight was canceled.
Was it? That one too?
Yeah, Jamal Charlo hurt his back.
Ah, shit.
Or as Mike Tyson would say, I broke my back. Like a spinal cord injury. I broke my back.
So June started off. I mean, it's summertime. We're supposed to be getting a shitload of great fights, but last weekend, as much as was on the line, didn't materialize into a great night of fighting. Maybe a great display of the sweet science for sure. One, your boy Stephen Fulton, shout out to him. The other one, Devin Haney, shout out to him, 510, Las Vegas cat, congratulations. He did what a lot of the lightweights won't do, or most fighters won't do, and that's take a big gamble and believing in yourself. I do congratulate him, as boring as it can be at times watching someone, one-sidedly put the beat down on somebody else, man. Anyways, I'm Dave from the 408. You can add me on Instagram at shoeshine_boxing. If you got some friends, send them over to @Drew Evo. Are you still doing those wake-up calls tomorrow?
I don't know, Jessica. I'm still waiting for that Instagram follow.
All right. Well, Jessica Garcia, if you're still lurking, send him a DM and follow @Drew Evo on IG. Sin City Syndicate, thanks for stopping by. And everybody who came to check out the Shoe Shine, don't miss all our friends and partners, Al Chile, D-Styles, everyone, the ladies on Wednesday night, the round table. And of course, Beeb, Long Live Boxing, Mano a Mano with Kenny, and Amilcar. We will see you next week on the Shoe Shine. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.